Hello, in this video I shall be giving the analysis of a report. The report is by IPCC and the report is the Climate Change 2021, the Physical Science Basis. This is the title of the report. This is one of the total 4 reports that are going to be released by the end of 2022. IPCC stands for Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. This is going to give 4 reports and one or the first report among these 4 is recently released. So this is called as the 6th assessment report, or in short AR6. So the working group 1, that means the report 1 is out of totally 4. So this is the first ever one by IPCC in this year, and the 4 reports will be completed by the end of 2022. We shall analyze about this. This IPCC report, or the 6th assessment report, is about global warming challenges that are faced by this earth and all the shifts in climate policy. So regarding this global warming, we make some policies in the world to have to achieve zero global warming or net zero emissions of carbon dioxide. So for all of these challenges, there has to be a climate policy. So this climate policy has to be shifted depending on these reports. So if the global warming shifts are different, the climate policy shifts must happen. So this is all done through this report. And this is very significant report because this is the only report that is going to be discussed in COP26, that is Conference of Parties to 26, that is by UNFCCC, that is United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. So in this report, there are certain points that will be discussed in COP26, that is going to be held in November 2021 at Glasgow. So this is very important in this way. And what are the findings of the report? The first finding is there is a rise in global surface temperature to around 1.07 degrees centigrade. So this range has gone up ever since our pre-industrial era ended. So from pre-industrial era to this day, our rise in global surface temperature is 1.07 degrees centigrade. So this rise in temperature is going to impact our atmosphere, oceans and land. This is all present in the findings of the report. So the only sole reason for this rise in global warming impact is of human origin, and this is going to also pace up. That means in the future this is going to increase more. Human origin reasons for global surface temperature rise are going to increase more. So this is what the report says. And one major finding is that all inhabited world on this earth is touched by this global warming. So wherever you find a human being, there you find the global warming working there. So that is one important finding. And the dominant source of this global warming is carbon dioxide. It is even given in the report. And aerosols are doing a good work in reducing this global warming. So aerosols, if they increase in their concentration, they will reduce the impact of global warming. Global warming will by any chance increase, but its impact on atmosphere, on oceans and land will be reduced if we have more aerosols. So this is also one point. And the need according to this report is there has to be immediate methane reduction on the earth. So this is what the report finally says. There has to be methane reduction, that is the need of the hour. So this is some brief finding of the report. This is a very significant report because it incorporated certain scientific techniques that are not used earlier in producing this report out. So we'll see that importance or the significance of this report. So for evidence to all the points in the report, it has taken multiple lines. So it has given so many evidences or multiple lines of evidences for what it has produced. And very precise technical methods are used in giving out this report, or in making out climate variables, to get accurate climate variables and to reduce the uncertainties. So for all of this, very precise technical methods are used by this. And higher resolution of models are taken in this report. So for giving out the report, there has to be climate models taken out, so as evidences. So these models are taken out in higher resolutions compared to previous report resolutions of models. So these models are also well filtered in order to suit to the real world. So when you have a climate model, the picture will not be clear, or it cannot be well suited with the real world. So for that reason we need to filter the models, climate models. So this filtering is done so well in this particular report for giving evidence to this particular report. So well filtered modeling output is incorporated. So all of these gives a huge significance to this report compared to previous reports. And there is also a brief note about equilibrium climate sensitivity in this report. Equilibrium climate sensitivity is nothing but the relation between carbon dioxide concentration and increase in surface temperature. Every time when carbon dioxide concentration doubles, whenever it becomes twice, the surface temperature increases to a certain extent. So this setting of this pinning of this level is nothing but equilibrium climate sensitivity. So this is pinned at 2.5 degrees centigrade to 4 degrees centigrade. On an average, to get the best estimate, it is 3 degrees centigrade. So for every doubling or for every getting up of carbon dioxide concentration to its twice, we have the surface temperature, global surface temperature rise to over 2.5 degrees to 4 degrees centigrade. So even this is reported in this report. Earlier, this pinning of level used to be to 1.5 degrees centigrade to 4.5 degrees centigrade, and evidently, as we can see, this has increased. That means for doubling of carbon dioxide concentration, the surface temperature rise is also getting higher and higher day after day. So this is one important finding. And the next word is climate modeling. So this is also given in the report. Climate modeling is done. I have told what is climate modeling here. That is, we get some vague pictures of the climate. We need to filter them so that we get a great model in order to give as evidence, and that evidence becomes the report. So this climate modeling needs a system for its modeling. So the system incorporated in this report for evidence of this report is Earth System Model. So that is a climate modeling system. This is developed by Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology. So this is for the first time incorporated in this report. So by this climate modeling done, India now has become a climate modeling country. There are only few countries that are doing this climate modeling. Now India has also joined these few countries in climate modeling by incorporating Earth System Model for climate modeling. And in the report, we see some difference between global north and global south. We'll have a brief view of what is the difference between these two areas' climate conditions. Coming into global north, we see a lot of heat waves, and a record range of heat is recorded over there. And extreme rainfall, extreme sea levels, unprecedented floods, and massive forest fires. All of these are reported in this report regarding global north. So these are all the evidences from global north for increasing global warming or temperatures over there. And even there is a report, there is also this point that their intensity and frequency are also getting higher in the global north. And global north are mostly developed countries, as we know, so they need to bring their emissions to net zero. That is what this report is indicating to global north. And the cumulative emissions of global north, the US, Europe, and all such global northern countries, they have given a lot of cumulative emissions right from the past. So they have to get their net zero emissions by 2050. This is what the report says. And global carbon budget is also exceeded by these global north countries. That has to be limited. So what this report says to global north is they have to immediately they have to cut down their emissions. Immediate deep emission cuts have to happen there. Regarding global south, it is a cheerful report because all the developing countries are far better than these global north countries in relation to their contribution to global warming. For example, India, it has just not even given at least 5%, less than 5% global cumulative emissions to the world, and its per capita annual emissions are pinned at 1/3 of the global average. That amounts to 3 billion tons of carbon dioxide per year. The reason only being coal usage in India, that is the key element of our energy security. So apart from this reason and apart from these numbers, India is not damaging much to the world regarding global warming. And the good news in the report is air pollution is reduced throughout the world to some extent, and climate change mitigation is well done by all the countries in the recent past. And what is the way forward? We need to have some definite cumulative emissions for the global north, and they must not exceed that. And historical responsibility of global north or the developed countries must be considered while setting emission reductions in the world. And fossil fuels have to phase out, and investment has to be done in technology for climate change, and adequate climate financing has to be done in the world for giving funds to the climate change and betterment of our climate. So this is the topic of IPCC report, and thank you.